whatever the block is, whatever, everyone has them. It doesn't matter how long you've been in business. Go after those thorns in your business that have not allowed you to push past a certain point.
Hey, it's Ronsley. Welcome, you AI geek, to Amplify AI.
So LM Arena is a really good one to look at what are the different ones out there. But again, you don't have to look at all of them. I'm going to show you some here that I think are really cool, that are not LLMs, but LLMs, because most AIs now are LLMs. This is Glyph.app, and it makes some really cool stuff like memes. And so, for example, if you wanted to create, say, a meme that looked like this, the starter kit meme about AI in business, as an example. So I've run some of these before. So I may ask it to do a meme about AI where OpenAI was complaining that DeepSeek used their models when OpenAI stole authors' data to train their models. So it made this meme, which again is really cool because even though some of these words might not necessarily be right, the team can take this meme and put it into Canva or something and edit the words out, but they don't necessarily have to make the meme from scratch. And these are common memes that you can use. For example, this one got a lot of engagement on social. What my friends think I do, what my parents think I do, what my boss thinks I do, what society thinks I do, what I think I do, what I actually do. So you can create this all, in your own field, especially if you're a real estate agent. It's like off left field a little bit, but it's still content that gets engagement because people understand, irrespective of where you're at, to make these kind of things. So if you had to do this on your own, it would have taken a long time. But if you go into Glyph, you can pick your meme and then give it context, and it'll come up with some really cool things like the AI consultant starter kit. So if someone's an AI consultant, they totally understand, let me explain how this will 10x your ROI. It's pretty funny, actually. It's pretty good. So Glyph.app is the one that I've come across that I thought is pretty cool. You can choose whichever one. You can choose memes and images and stuff like that. Replicate.com is a really nice one. You just have to put a credit card in, but I don't really think that it's much. Yeah, just have a look. Like, I've used a total of 78 cents, and I've generated a lot. So if you go and explore, there's a whole bunch of different models that you can use. And so you can go and create videos, you can create different types of images, you can obviously generate text. There's a whole bunch of different things, transcribe speech. Actually, this is really powerful, the one in replicate.com, because I've used some of the image generation in here, and I think it's really great, actually. But you can see all the different things that you can do here. You can create 3D stuff. You can use audio. You can remove backgrounds. Obviously, it's crazy how to remove backgrounds used to be, such a thing that you had to pay someone in Photoshop to go and remove backgrounds. That is now just a single click in Canva. So how that has changed. Even transcription is another example. I use this a lot because we've been making podcasts for people and brands and businesses for maybe 12 or 13 years now. And not long ago, we had 7 transcribers on our team full time, and we had 14 content writers who don't exist anymore, which is crazy. So we have 0 transcribers. And that's obviously a space that has changed quite drastically. So Replicate is great. You can do a whole bunch of different things in Replicate. Then Leonardo is good, but I highly recommend Midjourney. My God, the results I've been able to get in Midjourney are really amazing.
I do posts fairly regularly in LinkedIn, so I come up with ideas there. Quite often I'll do the post in ChatGPT and say, give me a graphic that it pulls in from DALL-E. And if I'm not happy with that, then I'll create one in Midjourney.
And obviously you've got a pro account, or you're using the free account?
Just the free account.
Oh, really?
I don't do it that often. Yeah, I don't use it that often.
I mean, I don't use that often, but I'm still paying, which makes me think that I should go and check all my subscriptions right now.
As a financial advisor, I would tell you.
Yes, guilty. But I feel like Midjourney, I've not actually come across a better image generator than Midjourney. Just some of the things that it makes, like, wow. I want you to think about how long it would have taken someone to get this picture if they had to hire a model, get the right lighting, then click all the images, then do the edit, and then finally give you this one image, how long that would take. And a lot of these in Midjourney, what you can do is you can personalize to your, I've got a certain style. And every time I use the minus P, which is personalized to my style, that's the command in Midjourney that you give to say, generate this image, but generate it in my style. You'll see, this is my style. You'll notice that it's a common style. So if I put this minus P, it'll create, design me an image based on offload busy work. Whenever you think I need to remember this, let ChatGPT handle it. And it created this really great image. Some of the images that it makes inside Midjourney are like redonkulous.
And if you're not happy, you change it within 5 seconds.
100%.
Yeah, they're really edgy too, and some of them are edgy and funny. You know, that's your personality. So they're really good.
Yeah, they're really good. And obviously, the better you prompt it, the more detail you give it in the prompt, the better it responds. So I actually made a t-shirt and I wanted to put a caricature on it. And so I was designing these caricatures and I landed up putting, I think the one with an R on it, on my t-shirt. And I thought that was insane to go from to go from a cartoon or from a concept to a t-shirt with a saying. It's like so quick. And it's original, right? I don't have to like worry about copyright and that kind of stuff. Actually, what happened was, if you don't know who Gareb Shamus is a friend and a legend who started Comic-Con. So literally, he's the guy that started Comic-Con, sold Comic-Con. Then they didn't run it the way he wanted it to run. So he bought it back from them and then grew it into Asia and all these other places, and then sold it again and with rules on how he wants it to run. And I met him a few times, but I met him, the last time I met him was in Toronto when I was doing my book launch. And we were walking down the street and he was like, hey, you know what? I would love to be able to get to a point where there's no middlemen. It's just me creating comics, and that's going to be my happy place. So I was helping him come up with, some comic characters. And this was such a fun experiment. Like, look at some of these images are just, wow, just blown away. So we were doing some work then, and it was just so cool to like try these things. So Midjourney is really good for that. And you'll notice, if you see this style, you'll notice that this is my personalized style. You see the orange and the red and how it represents that. I love how it does exploded views of something. So I've got this prompt that I talk about, provide me an exploded view of a mobile phone. So what does it look, when a mobile phone's exploded out? And wow. Imagination is literally your only stopping point. It's just how much you can imagine that you can create. So this is Midjourney for images. And then I spoke about Replicate as well, which I think should be in the image category, but you can do a whole bunch of different things inside that. Now, we mentioned Poe for LLMs, but then there's Chat LLM that you can use for that as well. So two of the similar ones is Microsoft's Copilot. Perplexity is amazing. I highly recommend Perplexity if you're doing any sort of search. And I feel that, by the way, whoever uses Perplexity will know that the Perplexity search is better than the OpenAI search. However, the OpenAI deep research is so much in depth that, again, at the start of this session, I was talking about how you should use AI for all the things that were stopping you before. For me, what was stopping me were things that I wanted to do that I could not get right, however much I delegated it. Actually, maybe I didn't delegate properly. Maybe I abdicated, and that's why I didn't get it right. So I think in entrepreneurship, the more humble you are, the quicker you learn your lessons. So for me, one of the things is the long form posts. So I've always wanted to build these long form posts, and it was so hard to collate and get it right and put it together. Like, I would say it takes me a total of 45 minutes to create a long form post like this, which would have normally taken, I don't know, days to put together, collate. So not only is it a one-time thing, I've created a 4-part series, and they'll come out, every week. And also this long form post, not only like I can not only send it to a whole bunch of people and say, hey, if you're looking for 25 ways to grow your podcast, here are 25 content strategies that you should use. Here are 25 audience engagement strategies that you can use. And in the next couple of weeks, you'll get 25 ways to monetize your podcast. And then there's 25 different distribution tactics for you to get results. But not only am I sending everyone to this one spot that they can get all these really good tips, but also it is creating this pillar post with links to my content, which are previous episodes that I've done. So if someone really wants to, for example, this one in particular, building audience engagement, it's a part 1 of the growth guide. And it's like, okay, here are 25. Start by actually solving problems. And then if you want more, this is a whole episode that I've done with Ed Dale that someone can just go and click. So it's like, not only is it creating a pillar post, it's creating an SEO worthy pillar post that now is getting linked to other content that I've already created before. So for me, this is very useful and very powerful for things that I've been wanting to do for ages that I've just never gotten around to doing it. Or if we've gotten to doing it, we've paid someone money and it hasn't gotten done the way we wanted to do, so it never got out. So these are things that I'm implementing that I think that you should really look at and see how you can implement, because now this post already from the SEO, from the keyword analysis that we got, and analytics that we get from Google is already ranking pretty well. And it's only been maybe a week and a bit that this post has been out. So use AI for the things that you thought at one time, hey, I wish I could do that. And now you can, if you just sort of focus, get it done, make sure you have a process to do it, and then keep repeating it before you get to do the next process. So don't worry about the new AI tools that are coming out. Rather, worry about these things that you can implement and execute and then start to get results on. I hope I'm making sense about how I'm asking you to think about using AI.
Ronsley, can I ask you a question about, you're on many platforms and then you're writing. So for example, what you just mentioned, do you have a Ronsley filter persona voice for each platform, or did you set it up, let's say, for example, on ChatGPT and you like it the most there, so you take everything raw that you've curated on other platforms like Claude and then run it through your voice on ChatGPT? I'm curious about that. Or do you have it set up on each platform and you're happy with the results?
It's a great question. So I don't really think that I'm very happy with the results that come out of ChatGPT. I've never really been.
Yeah, that was just hypothetical.
Yeah. I understand. But however much I have customized my ChatGPT or even the GPTs inside, actually, I lie. So every LLM has a backend, like a coding backend that is very dev focused. So for ChatGPT, it's this platform.openai.com. And inside here, if you go in the dashboard and you come down to assistants, you can make assistants in here that are really good. Like I trust these outputs better than I trust the output coming out of ChatGPT. Again, I think it's because of the system instructions that are wrapped around ChatGPT that doesn't give you the results that you want. This is way better. So in here, I've created assistants that I can call on, which are very powerful. For example, this one is the Amplify AI book. If I throw any instructions at this assistant, it'll take the instructions and return back for you where in the book I cover whatever I'm asking of it. So if you're trying to grow operations, then it'll go, oh, Ronsley's covered this in part 1 or part 3 of the book. And on this page, you can go and find how to grow operations in your business. So it's an assistant that's trained on my book. Then here's an assistant that's trained on how I would like my Midjourney prompts to be written. So I can just throw anything at this and it'll return back a good Midjourney prompt for me. And this is all in the back end. So rather than me creating GPTs, I create these assistants in the background. So I think this is really powerful. Which again, I totally forgot to mention that I think if you're technically inclined, then this is a really good place to do that. So to answer your question, I really like my voice. My voice is very accurate when it comes out of Claude. I haven't found that in other LLMs. However, if I'm using a lot of data, then I ask Gemini to collate that because it can take a larger context window. So for example, that post that you just saw, which was, the 25 ways to improve your podcast or grow your podcast, ChatGPT Deep Research did most of that research. But then the writing part of that, the introduction and the bits in between were done by Claude, because that represents my voice better than what ChatGPT could. So I think there's still an element of human checking involved, which might not be too far away from, an agent coming along and you asking the agent to check how you check for your voice. But until that point, I feel like us going through it ourselves and going, okay, this is how we would check it, is probably a good idea, so that you can give those rules to an AI in the future.
Wow, thanks for lifting the covers on, how you create. That's really helpful for me. But you didn't mention video. So do you have a favorite video platform these days? And then just a side note, because I'm a bit of a crypto guy, your comic example for any creators, isn't blockchain the promise of getting rid of the middleman? And again, that can be, we can do that in school in the discussions, but I just can't help but think in smart contracts, you can get rid of all the middlemen, iTunes for music and, Spotify and, even buying a house or brokering business, you can do it with blockchain.
I totally agree. I mean, I find the fact that they're paying bank fees an absolute joke, absolute joke. For us, our largest bill are bank fees by a long shot. And I'm talking about everything, because Australia charges me money when someone pays in USD, and then charges me money to convert from USD to AUD. Then it charges me money again when I pay in USD out. It's like, I cannot stress enough how quickly I want smart contracts to come and take over.
Yes. I feel your pain. I'm Canadian. So, and I'm in Mexico. So, US dollars always factor in, and we get beat, when we convert one to the other. And I have begged businesses to work with crypto. It's like, pay me in Bitcoin, pay me in Ethereum, pay me in anything other than fiat. And some do, some don't. But yeah, it's coming.
I think, that's the thing with change, is that people don't like change. And, you know how many middlemen would lose their jobs if smart contracts came around? So I agree 100%. It just depends on how the people in power want it to operate, I suppose. Video, you mentioned asked video. Yeah, I think trying Sora is a good idea, but Runway ML is probably the leader in that pack.
Hey, AI Geek. Thanks for listening. Your job doesn't stop here. I want you to lend your voice to the conversation. So you can join those conversations, discussions, new trainings, new recordings, and the rest of the AI Geeks by going to amplifyais.com. Also, share this podcast with a friend, another potential AI geek. Until then, much love.